Yes, hello, and delighted to be here to be a part of this major event, Light and Building. And as you can see, CABA, the Continental Automated Buildings Association, is very much a part of this industry for intelligent buildings and smart homes. And how many people here have heard of CABA? Raise your hand if you've heard of CABA. How many here don't speak English? That's my German is not that good. Even though with a name like Zimmer, I should be able to speak fluently German. But CABA as an industry association has been around 30 years. I'm based in Canada. Our secretary is based in Canada, but we are an international association focused for the last 30 years on smart homes and intelligent buildings, and now IoT for buildings. Anything to do with integrated systems and building automation, convergence of systems. That's what we focus on. We gather research, we create some great research, which I'm going to share with you, and we disseminate that. We share that with the audiences all over the world. In fact, we work with currently 370 plus member companies. Many of them are here. Many of them are in the BACnet display here and throughout the show. So we're delighted that we see so many of our CABA members here. We're governed by a board of directors that are made up of some very prestigious companies. I have actually 24 bosses that I answer to on the board of directors. And soon it will be 25, which is our maximum. So some of you know intelligent buildings and smart buildings very well, but for those that are not quite sure what the definition is, this is one of the definitions. There's many others out there, but clearly a smart building is an intelligent space that will transform efficiency, comfort, and safety for people and assets. So it's taking standalone systems like lighting, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, security, life safety, and bringing them together. Increasingly so. When we look at the history of this great industry, when we think back 30 years ago, anybody involved in the industry 30 years ago? Some of you were 30 years, yes? Well, just imagine the transformation from those early years when building controls were just starting, like BACnet and Lawn Talk and DALI and others, to where we are today, moving to intelligent cities, voice recognition, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, virtual reality, all these great technologies that are part of what we are seeing converging and being available to our industry. In fact, when you look at this slide, and I'm glad the slides are going to be shared, when you look at this slide, the reality is that we're seeing not just the convergence of these different systems or integration of the systems, so that with sensors being so low in price, we're actually seeing now that the use of cloud technology for advanced data analytics is making the ability to now connect your buildings, your homes, into all aspects of our lives, our cars, our insurance, our industry, certainly our work, our wearables, our medical profession, our healthcare. So all of that is coming together in a way that's unimaginable even just maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Well, how big is the system? So we're just going to show you just even though we cover research all over the world, I grabbed this slide. It shows in North America you have about 6.5 million buildings. So what does that mean? It means a couple things. One, in Europe and in North America, you have existing building stock. And that's one of the issues because it's more difficult to take existing building stock that's been there for 40, 60, 100 years, which has some very good technology, still with pneumatic technology, very old technology. But so the new buildings, and there's very few Shanghais and Dubai and Saudi Arabia building brand new cities, smart cities. That's a rarity. So it's one of the challenges of how do you take older technology and then bring it into the future. So, but there's great technology. Tritium is over there, just to point out one of our great members. Where's my friend from Tritium? Anyway, so there's great software that can bring together proprietary systems and open systems. And that's why BACnet is so important, to be able to show more open systems in a way that allows disparate systems to work together. I'm not paid to say that either. I'm just saying it because it's true. So what we do as an association is we take research, we bring together some of our 370 companies. In this case, these companies all came together and put in a small amount of money to do research in specific areas that are important. We try to point out to the industry what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years, because nobody knows. There's not one person, I'll challenge you, Dr. Ken Wax, he's close, but he's not here. But in any case, there's very few people can know everything that's happening in our industry. And that's why the research is important for companies to say, in fact, if you stay to the end of this presentation, there's a little bribe. If you stay to the end of the presentation, we'll draw for this report. In fact, it'll be sent to you electronically, and we actually sell it for several $1,000s. So basically, we're going to give one away to somebody here. But in any case, the reality is that we try to tell the industry where that market is going. How would they develop their marketing sales strategy? How would they develop their business strategies? How would they develop their product R&D to meet the demands, to hit the sweet spot? And everybody's trying to figure that out. And there are many, many carcasses in the roadways of companies that did not figure it out. And I'll just use Kodak, which was one of our former board members. Kodak did not figure it out. They had the research that showed that film, their recurring revenue model, was going to go like this, and digital was going to go like this. And they did not transform themselves. And that's why you see the automotive sector transforming themselves rapidly, because they see the trend lines. They've looked at the research. The same is true in our industry. With the good research, you can actually now transform your company, determine what are the products and what are the key market elements. You know, there's 80-some pieces of our large building sector, 80-some. Airports, prisons. Last night at KNX, one of the award nominees was a prison that was using KNX. So there's different segments, shopping malls, convention centers, and many more. So let's focus on IoT for a second. This is what's transforming our sector in a way that few people could have imagined. And what's happening is that when we have, I wonder if I have the, anyway, so when you look at internet or IP, what's the initial part, of course, and this is the classic pyramid. All IP addressable items are right now could be, in fact, connected. Then you have just electronic devices in general, easier to connect. The big group right here, unconnected electronic. How much do we have in the world of unconnected electronic devices? And then just objects. That bench, a chair, a desk, a garbage receptacle. So those things will be connected. Why? Because sensors have come down in such price that they're now having printable electronics, sensors, and they have the sensors that actually have enough photovoltaic material printed on them that ambient light can actually power them. Think about it, no batteries. I mean, N-Ocean is a great product, a great technology, harvesting energy, but basically there's another example. So there's a lot of great things that are going to help connect everything. So there was a panel at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. There was a panel it was on home, connected home, smart home technologies, and they had about 5, 6 different standard bodies. We work closely with all of them. Thread is a member of CABA, Fair Hair Alliance. Virtually everybody up here we work with. So the reality is that this one gentleman from Europe, I won't say his name because he did say it publicly, but in any case, he said, because they were talking about interoperability and who's going to win the standard wars. And he said, it's over. IP will make everything eventually interoperable. He says, so now that's his opinion and others might disagree with him. But that is somewhat, when we look into the future, to say, well, if everything is IP enabled, then we really do have pure interoperability. So when you look at Internet of Things, what it is allowed to do, and that's why BACnet is changing and KNX is changing. They talked about their IoT strategy last night at their award ceremonies. But all the different segments are now working through gateways into the cloud, and eventually big data or data analytics, advanced data analytics, artificial intelligence, incredible algorithms that we're already seeing being positioned into the industry. We're seeing it in the home with respect to voice recognition. We're moving away from the touch, whether it's our apps, our devices. We're moving to voice, talking to devices. And that's why Amazon is on our as a member. So whether it's Amazon, Alexa, Google, Apple with Siri, Samsung is rolling out their stuff, their Sonos. Sony, if you go downstairs, look at Somfy downstairs, one of our members, they have 3 devices showing that they can run their blinds off Google, Amazon, Sonos, and soon they said we'll have Apple there as well. So there's 4. Alibaba in China, I think Alibaba, I believe, has their voice recognition. IBM announced yesterday their Watson is going to have voice, digital assistant, and they're rolling that out for the home, connected home, and enterprise. So this is where it's changing very rapidly. Yes. So key principles that you're going to see already taking place in many of these companies in their product. You're moving now from the edge to the cloud. You're going to make that incredible power of data analytics available. The mobility, because we will be accessing it everywhere. We'll be accessing our devices, so we can access whether it's our home, whether it's our office, whether it's our car, whether it's our wearables. We're going to have all that availability because of the mobility and wireless and cellular analytics. Tremendous ability to do so much more than we've ever done with our technology. Security and manageability. Some of it is very, very safe, very secure. Notice that word some. So cybersecurity is incredibly important. If your company, if you have a product or service and you cannot virtually guarantee, which is difficult to do, guarantee that you will make your product and your customer can be very secure, you are in trouble. I would get some really, really good insurance. I'm being serious. And insurance companies, you have to be very careful. We did a whole study on cybersecurity. Insurance companies are going to be very discerning in who they give insurance to, and they want to be able to have all. Is there any insurance companies here? Just saying, because I be careful here what I say. So insurance companies they want to sell you a policy for millions of dollars and to guarantee from cybersecurity attacks. Be very careful because they will put in the line saying best practices. You will follow all best practices. Well, you know what? Best practices change every week. So make sure that you get in writing what those best practices are for insurance.